Good afternoon, everybody. I hope all of you physically healthy and mentally happy. Also, I really hope all of you not just studying Dharma and Lamrim, as well, all of you seriously practice the Dharma. According to the Kadamba tradition, the Kadamba established by Adisha and Dumdumpa, when the master, when they meet each other, they never ask the question, how are you? They always ask, how is going your practice? Have you able to have good mind? Have you able to practice bodhicitta? So this is how the Kadamba, greet each other. Therefore, today I'm asking all of you, how is going your study? How is going your practice of Dharma? Because we didn't have this Lamrim class more than a month. Also, I ask you to read few pages, particularly about the spatial insight. I hope all of you have read the few pages about spatial insight. At the beginning of Lamrim class, it is very important, very, very much important to generate bodhicitta based on great compassion. Therefore, please visualize all sentient beings around you and cultivate pure, unbiased love and compassion towards all sentient beings. When we purely generate love and compassion, then we can sense, we can feel the suffering from all sentient beings. Also, we can have great altruism to benefit for all sentient beings. But this moment, we can have pure love and compassion. We must have the altruism to benefit all sentient beings. But we don't have the great ability to benefit all sentient beings. If we become a Buddha, if we ourselves free from suffering to achieve all the good qualities, particularly omniscient, then we can definitely benefit for all sentient beings, many sentient beings. For example, historically, Buddha Shakyamuni was very ordinary beings when he was born. Then he studied for many years. Then he practiced the path. Then he became Buddha. Now we can see many people get a lot of benefits from Buddha Shakyamuni through his teachings, through his practices. Same way, when we become Buddha, we can benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, please generate bodhicitta, the full awakening mind, which is wish to be Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings. Thank you. Every time when we have a class, I always remind you to start your day with the bodhicitta based on compassion. Also, I request all of you to start all your practices with the bodhicitta. Even though reciting Manipeme for few times, you must start the recitation with the bodhicitta. Because Lama Tsong-kha-pa clearly explained us in Lamrim, just before the insight, the meditative serenity is nor Buddhist practice, neither Mahayana and Hinayana. The meditative serenity and insight are the common practice between Buddhists and non-Buddhists, particularly common practice with the Hindu. We have been studying how to achieve serenity, how to achieve spiritual insight, shamatha and vipassana. So I hope all of you have the correct understanding how to achieve serenity and spiritual insight. Through your practices, when you achieve serenity and spiritual insight, you should not be content, because the general serenity and spiritual insight are nothing special practice in Buddhist tradition. This is a very common practice. After we achieve serenity and spiritual insight, then we need to meditate on Four Noble Truths, particularly selflessness of the phenomena, selflessness of the person of being. Please, you must remember the common practice, the spiritual insight and serenity. It can suppress the afflictive emotion if they cannot get rid of the afflictive emotion from the root. So when we study Dharma, please make sure you're not just studying Dharma as a general knowledge, not as a history, not for gaining knowledge about Dharma, just gaining knowledge about Buddha teaching. You must study the Dharma as very necessary for our daily life, very important for free from suffering, achieving everlasting happiness. I guess some of you just attend the class here and there, read books, increase your knowledge, not applying when you need it. Make sure whatever you study, have been studying, you must apply in your daily life, particularly when you need it. When you get anger, please apply the Dharma knowledge. When you have a strong attachment and desire, please apply the Dharma. Particularly apply the knowledge about the Four Noble Truths. Therefore, if you just practice meditative like stabilization or serenity, you cannot be free from suffering. You cannot achieve liberation. Therefore, after you achieve serenity, then we need to practice Four Noble Truths, particularly the true selflessness. So this one I want to say at the beginning of this class, today's class. And also, when we study Lamrim, when we study any Dharma books, we never try to change, we never try to transform ourselves, because we always have our own the standard belief. You always try to stay with your own the standard belief. Also, when you attend teaching, you are very selective. We are very selective students. When the teacher explains or teach you which is like you, then you adopt it, you apply it. When the books tells us which we don't like, we don't want to listen, we don't want to apply because we don't like. Because we always have our own standard belief. If you live with your own standard, the belief system, definitely you cannot see the transformation. Other people also cannot see the transformation. Therefore, when you study Dharma, when you attend Dharma class, you need to break down your own the standard thinking, standard believing. Otherwise, doesn't matter how long you attend Dharma class, how long you have been studying Dharma, how much you receive teachings, all the teachings, all the instruction becoming look like pouring water on the hot rock, pouring water on the, like a stone metal. When you put water, it becomes a bit wet. After a few minutes, it becomes very dry as usual. When you add water on the solid metal, the metal becomes a bit black, but it never becomes very soft. Therefore, the Dharma, you must apply whether you like or you don't like. You try to apply, try to transform, try to break down your, the standard, the belief system. Number one. Number two, everybody has a very common problems. Very common problem, which is we are not enough quick. We are not enough fast to apply the Dharma. For example, before we get angry, we know practicing compassion is the best practice to control your anger, to reduce your anger. When somebody makes you angry, anger arises. So we are not enough fast, quick to apply compassion. We are not enough fast and quick to remember, oh, my anger is arising. It starts to arising. I must apply compassion. So therefore, we need to learn, enough quick, enough fast to apply the Dharma. Otherwise, before you have the bad thoughts, you are okay. You don't need to apply the Dharma. When the negative thoughts arise, you are not quick enough to apply the, the antidotes. Then, you already become very unhappy. Then you realize, oh, I could practice compassion. I could practice tolerance, too late. Therefore, number two, try to be quick enough, fast enough to remember the knowledge you have to apply according to the individual particular negative thoughts. Because when we study about what are the objects of meditation, so we study about the three kinds of objects, particularly the object of purifying the afflictive emotion. Then it breaks in different way, anger, antidote is compassion, attachment, essenceless, or ugliness. So please try to be, quick enough to apply the Dharma. Because, so all of you, almost, all of you are always busy, with your daily activities. Still, you try to attend, classes. Sometimes you attend the classes, because you like the teacher. I don't think you think, oh, I must attend this class because this class must be very important for me because I need to reduce my anger attachment. Because, oh, this Lama, this teacher, this guru, I really like him or her. I must attend teaching. These are not good reason. Therefore, what I'm trying to say you, please apply the Dharma knowledge in your daily life, particularly when any of the negative thoughts arise, you must be quick enough, fast enough to apply the Dharma knowledge. So, second, why we need to practice, there's two kinds of spiritual insight, two kinds of serenity, transcendent, and the non-transcendent, worldly and non-worldly. Normally, average people practice serenity, which is only to reduce, to suppress the negative thoughts. If you suppress today, it will arise tomorrow. If you be able to suppress this life, you will come back next life. Just suppressing is not the right methods. So we need to get rid of them from the root. Therefore, we need a non-worldly or spiritual insight and serenity. Therefore, we will start our class today from spiritual insight. Page number 107. 107. That's how you can see why insight is needed. Why we need insight? Why we need insight? Therefore, how to turn insight? As I have explained, meditative serenity has the feature of non-discursiveness. When you attention in the internally set on the single object meditation, you stay there. Number two, clarity. It is free from laxity and benefit, delight, and bliss. So when we achieve serenity, also please we should not think, oh, achieving serenity is very difficult. Achieving spiritual insight is very difficult. If you always believe this is difficult, first, you never try. You're not going to try to achieve. Second, when you're really trying, you feel it's very difficult. At the beginning, if you think, oh, I don't think so, it is very difficult to achieve serenity and spiritual insight, then you got strong aspiration, you got strong motivation to practice serenity and spiritual insight, you will practice to achieve. Second, when you're really trying to achieve these two, you never feel it's so difficult. Therefore, at the beginning, you should not think it is so difficult. It is impossible to achieve. Should not. Therefore, when we achieve serenity through the mental states, after ninth, then I think you're going to remember the two balances, the physical and mental balances, then you can achieve serenity. When you achieve serenity, your mind is fully able to focus on one single object. Mean you're able to set your mind with the chosen object for few hours, maybe few days. Therefore, your mind becomes very focused. Not only focus, your mind is very clear to see the chosen object. Not only that, the meditative mind is totally free from laxity and excitement. Also, that moment, physically, mentally, you feel very bliss. Very bliss. Each has a reason. Why, when we achieve serenity, why we able to focus on the chosen object for many hours? Because we totally suppress the distraction thoughts. Second, why we are free from the true obstacle, laxity and excitement, because we already have very strong mindfulness, and very strong introspections. Therefore, we are able to free from these two obstacles. Then third, when we achieve serenity, why we feel physically, mentally very bliss, very peaceful? Because the mind is always stay on the chosen object for few hours. That means our physical body totally stop to be busyness. No busy. Mind also totally stop to be busy. Therefore, we feel so relaxed, so calm, so peaceful. Yes, but these are not our aim to achieve. Therefore, however, we should not be satisfied with just this. Rather, developing the wisdom that properly determines meaning of reality. You must cultivate insight. Otherwise, since mere concentration is something Buddhists have in common even with a non-Buddhist. Therefore, at the beginning, I told you, when your mind becomes very focused, very focusful, very focused, then you need to change the object of meditation. You need to meditate on emptiness, impermanence, Four Noble Truth. Right? Therefore, we need to develop the spiritual insight. Its cultivation, as with non-Buddhist path, will not get rid of seeds of the afflictions. Right? The common practice, the general spiritual insight and meditative serenity is a common practice. If you only practice these two without very special insight, which is meditate on selflessness, we cannot get rid of the affliction from the seeds. We can suppress. Hence, it will not free you from cyclic existence, as Kamalashila, first stage of the meditation says. So this paragraph is very important. It really reminds us why we practice Dharma, why we follow Buddhism, not Hinduism, not Christianity, not Islam, not Taoist. Why? We choose to follow Buddha teaching, not non-Buddhist religion. The answer is very simple. If I practice like Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, or other religion, it's only bring us certain level to suppress, reduce the afflictive emotion, cannot eliminate. If we cannot eliminate the afflictive emotions, then we cannot be free from samsara. Therefore, our aim to study Dharma, attending Dharma class, practicing Dharma, its only aim is free from samsara, free from suffering, achieving liberation. That is, we must always recognize what is our achievement, what is our objective. Many people this day, they attend Dharma class or they do Dharma, practicing prostration, just only fulfill happiness for this life. This is not the point. Somebody do a lot of recitation, chanting, in order to increase their well-being. This is not the point. The point is to liberate ourselves from samsara, achieve Buddhahood. Please always recognize what is your achievement as a Buddhist. Therefore here, it will not free you from secular existence. Here, secular existence, please you remember the 12 links dependent origination. Somebody said 12 link interdependent. No, 12 link dependent origination. Ignorance is the root. Then ignorance arises rest of the afflictive emotions. Then we engage into karma, action. Then we act negatively, accumulate negative karma. We act positively, we accumulate positive karma. Then we were born in samsara as a fortunate realms, in non-fortunate realms. Therefore, because secular existence, if you don't practice emptiness, selflessness, there's no ending of samsara. There's never end. The samsara never going to end. It's always go around, go around, go around. Ignorance, afflictive emotion, karma, born samsara, died, born again in samsara. Is never going to end of the secular existence. Therefore, somebody asks a question to the Buddha. Is there beginning of the samsara? Buddha said, no. There's no beginning of the samsara. Is there ending of the samsara? Buddha didn't reply. Because Buddha could say, it's up to you, up to you. If you want to end the samsara, you can end. There's an ending. If you don't want the samsara, always go around forever. Therefore here, free you from secular existence. Then there's the quotation from Kamalashila. After you have thus stabilized your mind on the object of meditation, you should analyze it with the wisdom. It is dawn of knowledge that obliterates the seeds of confusion. Confusion refers to the ignorance. If you do not do this, you cannot abandon the affliction with the concentration alone, just as non-Buddhists cannot. Non-Buddhists cannot. Right? Also, some of you can feel, oh, it's Western, or it's non-Buddhist cannot, only Buddhist can. It look like very discrimination. It look like, kind of huge kind of, what do you call this, discrimination? There's a reason why non-Buddhists like a Hindu cannot free from samsara. Why we Buddhists can? Because not, oh, Buddha Shakyamuni is a Buddha. Shiva, Krishna, those are not Buddha. No. Because Buddha Shakyamuni introduced us the root of the samsara, which is ignorance. Also, he introduced us how to cut, how to get rid of the root of the samsara, which is selflessness. The non-Buddhists believe self-existent, not selflessness. Also, when you study all the Hindu, books, religious books, particularly about the meditation paths, they always teach you the grossness and the, do you remember the grossness and calmness? Grossness and calmness. There's a three realms: desire, form, formless realms. So we are desire being. I said last study, we don't need any introduction about sufferings. We don't need. We understood. We have been experiencing the suffering. Also, when we think for our life, we can have a countless number of our sufferings. If you ask, when you are really happy, truly happy, maybe we don't have any counting. Therefore, when we think about the samsara, particularly in this world, this samsara, we feel, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. I wish I can have a better life. I wish I can have a happy life. Then you compare the desire realms and the form realms. When you compare, then you can see the desire realm is very gross, the life is very short. And also the environmentally or physically, everything is very gross. It looks like full of samsara. So when you remember the quality of the desire realm, suddenly you feel, oh, I wish to be there. I don't want to be here. Therefore, you do the meditation about, comparing grossness and calmness. You practice this kind of meditation for many years. Finally, you don't have any sense of desire, attachment with these desire realms. You only have a desire, attachment to bond the form realms. So you fully reduce attachment of the desire realm, anger, so and so. Then, next life, you born in the form realms. Without really passing away, you can achieve the formless realms, meditative serenity. You go all the way to the, the tip of the samsara, right? Formless are 4 different levels. The peak, the peak of the samsara. Whether you born there, after many, many years, again you fall down to the desire form or formless. Therefore, the non-Buddhist master, none of them taught how to free from the samsara. Therefore, non-Buddhists cannot. Buddhists can because Buddha Shakyamuni realized the root of the samsara is ignorance. The wisdom which realizes emptiness is the direct antidote to cut the root of samsara. Right? Therefore, we are not just studying Dharma because we have a lot of free time. No, we are studying Dharma for free from samsara, for to cut the road of samsara. Therefore, look at Kamala Shila said here, if you do not do this, you cannot abandon the affliction with concentration alone, just as non-Buddhists cannot. Although worldly person cultivate concentration, they do not destroy the notion of self. Afflictions return and disturb them as they did Udarka. Like Udarka is a synonym as a Hindu. Worldly person means the person who attached to the world, the recitation, chanting, meditation, everything only attached to the world. Also here, I thought I should say, before, I think few pages before, there's a very clear explanation. If you do just meditation, if you do only, meditative serenity, it is not the actually dharma practice. It's just neutral. So when you practice meditative serenity with a renunciation, then it becomes the Hinayana path. The meditative serenity or special insight practiced with the bodhicitta, then the meditative serenity, special insight became part of the Mahayana path. If you practice meditative serenity, special insight with the 10 virtues action, then it becomes the cause to achieve the samsaric happiness. Therefore, if you practice meditative serenity with the 10 virtues action, still you can have a better samsaric things, but you cannot go beyond the samsara. Therefore, meditative serenity, special insight must practice with the renunciation, then you can achieve liberation. Renunciation with the bodhicitta, then you can become Buddha. Right? Therefore, here mentioned very clearly, all the worldly person cultivate concentration. They do not destroy the notion of self. Afflictions return and disturb them, as they did Udarka, who cultivate concentration in this. Then there's another quotation. Although worldly person cultivate concentration, mean the worldly person cultivate a concentration with the features such as a non-discursiveness and clarity explained above. The line, they do not destroy the notion of self, mean that despite cultivating the concentration, they cannot eliminate conception of self. Affliction return and disturb them. This line indicates that worldly person will still produce affliction because they have not eliminated the conception of self. Right? So please, you must remember the order. There's an ignorance. Therefore, we have a misperception. Therefore, all the afflicted emotion is there. When the afflicted emotion arises with the misperception, we always engage into action. The action always be negative. Therefore, without realizing selflessness, without destroy the notion of self, there's no way we can be free from samsara. Therefore, because every Sunday or Saturday before the class, so we do chanting. we do chanting, which is very good. We have been doing chanting. But make sure when you chant, when you recite these verses, you must chant with the feeling. You should not chant the chanting as a computer, like Google, translator. When you click, the Google says, finish. Definitely, when I listen the chanting, I don't think many people have, really very strong devotion, pure faith, chanting the verses with the feeling. Without really feeling, without like devotion, you chant as a Google translator, you cannot have any benefits. Please make sure, please make sure you should not waste your time. Make sure you should not waste your energy. The time you spend with the Dharma, try to achieve something. Spend your energy with the Dharma. Please try to achieve something. And also another problem we have. Many people think, yes, I want to practice Dharma, but slowly. Or we always say, oh, slowly. It's not easy to change, but I want change slowly. That means you don't want to change actually. You don't want to change yourself. You don't want to be transformed. You should not think slowly. You must think, I want to change very fast. I want to change today and tomorrow until next year. So when we say slowly, then there's a problem because we believe, we always believe I can be survive, I can be alive for until next year. I can be, alive for 10 years. We never know. Remember, death will come. Definitely come. Come anytime. Come for anybody. Most of, we are just, I'm sitting in the TBC, Ultimate Buddhist Center with the air condition, or I had a good lunch. I thought I'm very healthy. I can be, I have a time to wake up tomorrow morning. I already have a plan. After class, I go for a walk, come back, have a shower, do evening practice, get a morning, do daily things. I already have a plan, but there's no certainty. No certainty. Therefore, what I trying to tell you, you should not think, I want to change slowly. I want to practice slowly. Slowly become very slow, then slow become nothing. Therefore, you should not, delay your practice. What kind of meditation lead to liberation? As I did earlier, the very next verses of King of the Concentration Sutara says, if you analytically discern the lack of self in the phenomena, that means selfness of the phenomena, and if you cultivate the analysis in the meditation, this will cause the result attainment of the nirvana. There's no peace through any other means. Therefore, what kind of meditation we need to lead to liberation? Therefore, the first sentence, if you analytically discern the lack of self in the phenomena, and if you cultivate this analysis in the meditation, this will cause result attainment of the nirvana. Therefore, first, you need to do a lot of analytical meditation. You need to analyze. You need to analyze about the phenomena. When you analyze any phenomena, you will realize the selflessness of the phenomena. when you realize the selfless phenomena, you had the knowledge, you knew that things is selflessness. But if you don't meditate, if you don't apply the understanding in your meditation, you cannot be free from sufferings, right? So therefore, actually, this morning I was reading a book about the Mahamudra. It's very interesting few sentences I read. They're talking about the Guru, Lama, right? Because I think we just chant the quality of the foundation of the all good qualities. So what is the foundation of the all good qualities? Right? The Guru. Then this Mahamudra teaching explained Guru, there's 4 kinds of Guru. One, the Guru who has the physical form, like His Holiness Dalai Lama is my Guru, maybe some of your Guru, who has the physical body. We consider Dalai Lama is our Guru. Second Guru is the instruction given by Buddha. Instruction, all the teaching taught by Buddha, those are the Guru. The third, the ultimate Guru, which is emptiness. The third one, the Guru referred to the appearances, all the appearances is a Guru. I think it's very important to know this, because when we say Guru, yes, we can have a Guru who has a physical body. Second, all the Buddha teachings are our Guru. Third, the emptiness is the ultimate Guru. The fourth, the appearances, which appear as things around us, as a Guru. Because when we really look closely, the things which appear to us, actually, we can learn so many things. We can learn so many things. When you see the very old person walking around with a very weak physical body, when we see the person, they teach us impermanence, aging, death. When we see somebody, wearing very expensive clothes, carrying very expensive things, driving expensive car, also it reminds us, teach us, increasing your ego, increasing ego. So therefore, whatever we see around us, we can apply them as our Guru, as our teacher. Right? Therefore, liberation is depend on the meditation on selflessness. There's no peace through any other means. These are kind of very strong conclusion. Achieving liberation, if you want to achieve liberation, if you want to free from suffering, you need to realize selflessness. Not just realize selflessness, meditate on selflessness. This is the only way, only means. There's not any other means. Right? Therefore, understanding is very easy. When you read this sentence, you know, liberation, achieving liberation depends on selflessness. I must realize selflessness. Not only realize, I must do, long meditation on selflessness. This is the only way. We understood. Not just understand, you must realize, you must practice. Then there's a way, there's a hope to achieve liberation. Therefore, this is the very conclusion. So here what we have to think, only spiritual insight, meditative serenity is nothing. It can reduce or suppress affliction. I need to achieve serenity, spiritual insight, which is meditate on the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths, particularly selflessness. Otherwise, the general, the common serenity, spiritual insight cannot get rid of the afflicted emotions. It's surprise, but it come back again, disturb us, right? Then the next question, how we can realize emptiness? How? Therefore, if you analytically discern the lack of selflessness in the phenomena, that means you observe the phenomena closely, study very closely, analyze very closely, then finally you notice selflessness of the person, selflessness of the phenomena. For example, mobile phone. They call phone. When you analyze very closely, open the cover, then open the upper parts, open the screen parts, then you can see inside a lot of wires, a lot of chips, so many things. If you remove each of them, you cannot find the phone. If you check each of them, none of them are phone. Without all the parts, we cannot say this is a phone. When you're missing one of the very important parts, this thing no more phone. It doesn't have a function to be phone. So please analyze, any phenomena closely, then you will realize that things are there, but not there as independent. When you analyze very closely to the phenomena, someday you may feel, oh, there's no such as phone, there's no such as person, there's no such as car. Mean you fall into nihilism. We cannot deny the conventional phenomena, the conventionality. We must accept. If you cannot accept the conventional phenomena, the conventionality, then we cannot accept next life, previous life, karma. That means you totally cut the route to achieve liberation, right? Yes, then you notice, yeah, I cannot say the phone is not exist. The phone must be there because I can communicate with my friends. I can watch, the news things. It must be there. Then how come when I analyze, I cannot find? That means the phone is only exists merely dependently. That means it look like you just, you are watching, you are having a dreaming. During the dreaming, you have a happy feeling, you have a sad feeling. When you awake, you cannot deny the dream. You can see, yeah, it's just dream. It's not such as there. Right? Then next we can just move to the page number 111. Relying on the definite sources. So when we try to realize emptiness or selflessness, we need to rely on the teaching, particularly rely on the teaching taught by Buddha. So Buddha taught so many kinds of teachings, so many different kinds of teachings. Buddha taught different teaching, not his own, own kind of necessity, based on own necessity. He taught the teaching according to the person ability, according to the person, the man's mental disposition. Just imagine, I told the story, one of the king, right? I think one of the king, he killed his father due to the religious conflicts, because father very much believed in Buddha, follow Buddha. He became Buddhist. Ajashutra, something, yeah, Ajashutra, the king. Then the Hindu monks, they didn't like the father because father was Hindu, follow Hinduism, support the Hindus temple and the Hindus gurus. Since he followed Buddha, he support Buddha, he become Buddhist. So the Hindu people are not happy. Then the Hindu monks told his son, your father was Hindu, he must follow Hinduism. Now he follow Buddha. He totally reject, ignore the Hinduism. You must do something. Because the son was very young, he didn't know much about Buddha and Buddha Shakyamuni teaching. Then they secretly have a plan to kill father. Then he put father in prison, actually for dying. And then he stopped to feed, bring food for the father. But his mother said, I cannot stop. I want to bring food for my husband. Somehow, he killed his own father. After he killed his father, then he noticed he did such as a wrong, such a wrong things, big crime. He feels so embarrassed. He feels so ashamed to kill his own father. So he could not sleep well. He could not eat. He was really in misery. He could not sleep at all. Then one of his friends, advised him to see Buddha. Shatru. Then the king who killed his own father, he visited Buddha. He was very unhappy, cannot eat, could not sleep. He became quite kind of sago, like a mad person. Then Buddha said, oh, this is good. You have done good job. The parent must be killed. They are too old. It's good job. You kill your parent. It's good job. Don't worry. You don't feel, upset. You did a good job. Therefore, the Buddha said, the parents must be killed. Then he feel, oh, because my father was very much believed to Buddha, Buddha must telling the truth. Then he feel relief. Then slowly he can eat, he could sleep, he become very normal. Then he can think. Then one day, Buddha asked him to come back to see Buddha. Buddha asked him to come to see Buddha. Then he came back to see Buddha. How are you? He said, I'm good, I'm very good, I'm very healthy, I'm very happy. Then Buddha said, did you remember what did I say to you? He said, yes, I remember. You asked, you told me the parent must be killed. It's good to be killed, the parents. The Buddha said, did you think what does meaning the father and mother? He said, no, just my father, my mother. The Buddha said, no. The father, mother refer to the attachment, desire, and anger. The father refer to the anger, and mother refer to the attachment and desire. This must be killed. Then he noticed, oh, anger, attachment, no good. So Buddha, taught so many different kinds of teaching according to the disciple. We cannot accept literally. Therefore, how we can say this teaching I must accept literally. This teaching cannot. Therefore, we need to differentiate, the Buddha teaching into two categories. Therefore, relying on the definite sources. Number one, fulfilling the prerequisites of the insight, classification of insight, how to cultivate insight in meditation, the measure of achieving insight through meditation. 4. Fulfilling the prerequisite for insight, means precondition, then classification of the insight, how to cultivate the measure. Fulfilling the prerequisite of the insight, you should listen to the stillness textual systems. That means in order to rely emptiness, we need to listen the stillness texture system, number one. Number two, relying on the scholar who accurately understands the key point of the scriptures. And indispensable prerequisite of the insight is to use wisdom gained through the study and reflection to the develop knowledge of the reality. Here are three things. You must listen, the unmistaken or the stillness teaching, which is taught emptiness. That means you need to study the teaching which is explain emptiness. Then in order to listen the teaching, we need to rely on the master who can explain emptiness accurately. The third, when you listen the teaching, then there's two things, study and reflection. First, listen about emptiness very carefully. Then you need to do a lot of reflection. You need to think again and again about emptiness. Then you realize emptiness. Here, first two things, we are very lucky, really lucky we already have the two. So we have the stillness teaching, a structure, particularly taught by Nagarjuna, the 5 treatises, particularly Mula Madhyamaka Karika, then the teaching from Chandrakirti, teaching from Buddha Palita, teaching from Aryadev, teaching from Shantidev. Those are very, very important because when we attend His Holiness teaching, he always mention Nagarjuna, second Aryadeva or Aryadev, third Chandrakirti, Buddha Palita, then Shantidev. Those teachings are, very stainless teaching about emptiness. So we are very lucky because all the teachings are available in English or Chinese, Tibetan, of course. And also we are very, very lucky. You always feel, I'm very lucky to have the scholar, the teacher who accurately can explain emptiness like a Dalai Lama. So we have, other master who can really accurately explain emptiness. We already have the two conditions. So we are lacking the next condition, which is study and reflection. Because we just study study Dharma when we have a class. After class, then you close the book. If you have a soft copy, you close the soft copy in your computer mobile. You never open until next class. And this Lamrim, maybe you will open the books on the next Sunday, right? Then again, we are very lazy. We listen, we are happy. Oh, I attend the Lamrim class, or I attend the Nalanda course. I attend the Dalai Lama teaching. I attend this. Just feel happy. Just attend the teaching. You never reflect. Therefore, for hearing, second reflection, third meditation. Three must go together. If you're just happy with the listening, you're not going to get anywhere. You will remain as same. If you don't do any reflection, you're not going to understand the actual meaning very precisely. If you don't do meditation based on the meaning, you cannot have any transformation. You always remain same as before. Doesn't matter how long you study, how long you listen the teaching. Without meditation, you cannot really transform. For example, you wish to cook very delicious food. Then first you buy all the, things which is necessary for the food. You bought everything. Then you never prepare to cook. You never, wash the vegetable, cut the vegetable. No, you just buy, you're happy, oh, I want to have a good food because I bought everything. Then after a few days, you can see all the things you bought is going already ruined. Second, you are very prepared. You wash, you cut all the vegetable. You are ready to cook. You're just ready to cook, but you never on the gas stove. You never really do the process for cooking, how we can have a good food. Therefore, first listening very important. Listening the teaching, which is very stillness from the qualified teacher. And second is the reflection. Third is meditation. Right? Teacher can teach you just teaching for 1 hour. The teacher responsibility is over. Now you have another two responsibility, reflection and the meditation. Therefore, we always feel, we are very lucky to have the first two conditions. Also, we must notice, we must realize, oh, I'm lacking the next two conditions. Then just turn page number 112. With regard to this prerequisites for insight, there are three parts. Identifying scriptures of the professional and definitive meaning. The history of commentary on Nagarjuna's intended meaning. How to determine the philosophical view of emptiness. Identify. identify the scripture of provisional and definite meaning. So those who wish to know reality, mean emptiness, must rely on the conqueror's scriptures. Yeah. So in order to realize emptiness, we must rely on the Buddha teaching. However, due to the diversity of ideas among the Buddhist disciples, the scriptures vary. Therefore, there's so many different kinds of disciples who are there. Therefore, there are so many kinds of teachings are there. So, hence, you might wonder what sort of scripture you should rely on seeking the meaning of the profound reality. You must know reality in the relies upon the scripture of definite meaning. So here, definite meaning and definite scriptures, right? Provisional meaning and provisional scripture. Definite meaning and definite scripture. Provisional meaning and provisional scriptures. Definite meaning, the definite meaning refer to the emptiness. Definite meaning. The provisional meaning is refer to the conventional phenomena, the conventionality, the content. The definite scripture, the teaching itself. The provisional scripture is the teaching itself. Therefore, the teaching who introduce emptiness, this is the definite scripture. The teaching which is explained the conventionality, the conventional phenomena, this is the provisional scripture. So you should not confuse, the convention, the definite meaning is emptiness. The provisional meaning is the conventional phenomena. Then the definite scripture is the teaching which is explained emptiness. Right? So what sort of scripture is definite and what sort of is provisional? This means what sort of scripture is definite scripture, and what sort of scripture is provisional. This is determined by way of subject, determined by way of the subjects that they discuss. Those that teach the ultimate are considered scripture of the definitive meaning. Those that teach the ultimate are considered scripture of definite meaning. And those that teach conventionalities are considered scripture of the provisional meaning. In that even, therefore, at the beginning, you need to remember the two differences. The conventional, the definite meaning, provisional meaning, the definite scripture, the provisional scriptures. Then there's a quotation from the Sutra. What are the Sutra of definite meaning? What are the Sutras of the provisional meanings? Those Sutras that teach so as to establish conventionalities are called provisional scripture, I think. Those sutras that teach so as to establish the ultimate are called definitive. Those sutras that teach by way of the varieties, words, and letter are called provisional. Those sutras that teach the profound reality, which is difficult to understand and difficult to know, are called definitive. So what does mean definitive and provisional? Again, this is a phone. So when you study the conventional level, this phone, yes, you can talk in different way about the color, the shape, the size, the function. It has many different kind of features there, different aspect. When you talk about the reality of this phone, there's only one, which is emptiness. Emptiness. The emptiness of the phone is the final or finest truth of the phenomena. Impermanent of the mobile, white color, yellow color, big, small, those are the nature, but not the finest nature. Therefore, you can definitely mean this is the finest nature. There's no more you can find another reality. All the conventional phenomena has a different aspect. When you analyze closely, you can find more than that, which is emptiness. Emptiness, right? Therefore, all the Buddha teachings include into two kinds of teaching. The teaching discuss about emptiness, the teaching discuss about conventionalities. Only two kinds of teaching, because two kinds of practice, wisdom and methods. Then all the teaching which is discussed about conventionality actually is aimed to realize emptiness. Emptiness. For example, that one person is seriously ill, a lot of injured legs and head and hands. When they got very serious accident, the person has all kinds of injured. Then the person, doctor give operation for the leg and hands and arms, and you put a lot of things around. The aim object is try to be person be normal. Doesn't matter operate in the hands and legs and head and whatever. Find the main aim is to be normal. Therefore, Buddha taught so many teachings. All the teaching aimed, focus to realize emptiness. Why? Because ignorance is the troublemaker. Ignorance is the troublemaker. We, all human beings, all sentient beings must realize emptiness. Therefore, all the teaching, directly, indirectly, somehow, they meant focus to realize emptiness because of ignorance. Therefore, it's also mentioned before in the before chapter. So simply, there's two kinds of teaching, right? Then there's a question: how does a sutra teach conventionalities so as to be classified professional? And how does a sutra teach the ultimate so as to be classified as a definitive reply? This also is indicated very clearly in the teaching of the Asayamati Sutra. Says, so I don't think we need to read all the papers, all the pages. Then again, another important here, ignorance is the root of the samsara. Emptiness or selflessness is the most important antidote to get rid of ignorance. But when you think about, point of view from four different schools, four different schools has four different idea about ignorance. Four school has a different idea about selflessness. Then whom we should rely, whom we should trust, right? Therefore, finally, Lama Tsong-kha-pa said, yes, there are 4 schools. First school has a 4 idea about the ignorance. First school has a 4 idea about selflessness and emptiness. But most importantly, you follow the Madhyamaka school. Within the Madhyamaka, there are 2 sub-schools. You follow the Nagarjuna school, which is the consequences school. Consequence, right? Pasangika schools. So therefore, it comes to the Nagarjuna, history of Nagarjuna commentary. As though the master Ishide explained that the master, the noble Nagarjuna, and his spiritual son Aryadev, Aryadeva, did not make clear in the Madhyamaka treatise whether external object exists. Later, the master Bhavavika refuted the system of Vinaya, Vinapattimatra, and the presented system which is external object exists conventionally. He's talking about the true Madhyamaka. Then the master Shanti, master Sandhi Rashida set for a different Madhyamaka system. They teach based on the Yogacara text. So this one I think we can discuss next time, because here mainly we need to know within the Madhyamaka there's a 2 sub-school. So how the 2 sub-school establish or emerge. Then if you want to, if you interest more, then you can read more about how they established the 2 Madhyamaka sub-school according to the previous Tibetan masters. Also, you can study, in India, how they differentiate between the 2 sub-school in the Madhyamaka. Another, I always said to you, it is very important to study. It's very important. But always remember, it can be wrong. It's my fault or my wrong kind of idea. Always remember, Buddhist practitioner can be 2 categories. One can be practitioner, have the responsibility to preserve all the Buddha's teachings. One can be practitioner, don't have the responsibility to preserve all the lineages of the Buddha teachings. Most of you include into 2nd categories. You must practice the Dharma, try to be good practitioner. You don't have the responsibility to preserve all the lineages. Therefore, most importantly, you no need to attend all kinds of teachings because you don't need. When you have a headache, eat the headache medicine, buy the headache medicine, don't buy the stomach medicine. As a doctor, the doctor needs to buy all kinds of medicine because he or she going to meet all kinds of patients. So you are not going to be doctor, you are just simple patient. Cure the sickness of negative emotion to take the Dharma medicine. Therefore, if you always interested to attend class, teaching, then it can be cause to distraction, have a lot of distraction. And also, keep you busy with the studying. No time, don't have a time to practice the Dharma. For example, some of our Dharma friends here, they receive a lot of initiation, empowerments. Then their whole time, free time, occupy with the research, do the sadhana. Then, when they're going to do actual practice, meditation, generating bodhicitta, have not just copying to generating bodhicitta. You must have an experience about bodhicitta. Therefore, next class we talk a little bit about the true Madhyamaka. Then we go directly about how to enter into emptiness, because the Lamrim is very big. I wish to finish the wisdom chapter end of this year. Okay, so I'm going to stop here the class. If any have a question related to today's class or general question, feel free to have a question.
Yes, Geshe-la, we do have a questions from Zoe Chi Nguyen. Geshe-la, so how could we identify which teaching is suitable for each of us to follow?
Honestly speaking, the Lamrim, the Lamrim which we use, is also a very big for Singaporean. I really wish somebody can, condense, summarize based on Lamrim Chenmo, summarize into one book. This become very complete. Otherwise, if, for example, the liberation in your pram is very incomplete Lamrim books. You don't talk much about meditation, don't talk about particular the wisdom chapter. Then we have so many other Lamrim books. All of us, is mainly for kind of advice. In the future, any of you can summarize, condense based on 3 books into one book, then it become very stable. As a Singaporean, I think the Buddhist way of life is very stable. It's not that big, but it's just the verses is difficult to understand. So this is the best. For the emptiness, bodhicitta best is the Bodhisattva way of life. For emptiness is the best for you, the Chandrakirti's treatise. Because the Chandrakirti treatise kind of summarize the Mula Madhyamaka Karika. Then if you always use these 2 books as your daily practice, then for you become very easy. When you don't understand how to practice the methods, compassion, kindness, tolerance, then just open this book, you can have a really clear understanding. So emptiness is actually, I told you many times, when we listen emptiness, it look like so difficult to understand. Yes, so difficult to understand, but we don't need a lot of books to study to realize emptiness. Therefore, Lama Tsong-kha-pa says, analyze the phenomena closely, then you will realize selflessness. The practicing methods, we need a lot of different books. Therefore, the 2 book is very stable for Singaporean. One is the Buddhist way of life. Second is the Chandrakirti treatise. Then also the Precious Garland, chapter 1 is a very, I think, kind of summarized teaching how to practice the 10 virtuous action, how to practice compassion, so and so. Then the rest of the chapter is about more emptiness. Then you need to select which verses is very important. The 2 texts is very important and very stable for, I think, any of you. Yes, next question, please.
Dear Dhamma brothers and sisters, you have any questions or anything you would like to clarify? You can unmute yourself or you can type in into the chat window.
Okay, I don't think there's a question. Maybe I think you scared asking question. Then I thought I'm going to ask question back.
Sukin just raised his hand. Yeah, let me unmute him.
Hi, Geshe.
Yes.
Good evening. Good afternoon. Geshe, I want to check with you. How does I think for us we practice the Madhyamaka system, but like there are quite a lot of people practicing things like Dzogchen or Mahamudra. How do they realize emptiness in their way? And how does it differ from ours? Which is better and which is more correct?
Actually, Dzogchen and like Mahamudra, Chakchen, Dzogchen, Chakchen, emptiness. The meaning is 100% same. 100% same. When you study like Mahamudra, like Chakchen, there's a two kinds of different, there's a two layers. Realizing, nature of the mind. First, according to the Chakchen teaching, first you need to realize the conventional mind. Second, then you need to realize the ultimate nature of the mind. This again, emptiness. Yes, Dzogchen, Chakchen, emptiness generally is exactly 100% same meaning. When you realize emptiness, you can say, oh, I know the meaning of Dzogchen and Chakchen. Therefore, during Lama Tsong-kha-pa time, somebody asked question, is the idea of Chakchen is a correct or is a mistake or wrong? Lama Tsong-kha-pa, there's no any mistake about Dzogchen and Chakchen, but this day, some of the master explain wrongly. Yes, therefore, first, I really appreciate both of you asking this question. You want to practice Dharma, right? You just start to understand emptiness based on the Nagarjuna Treatise, based on the Chandrakirti Treatise. When you realize emptiness, you are already okay. You don't need to worry Dzogchen and Chakchen. For example, if you are very hungry person needs a food. Doesn't matter if Malay food, if from Indian food, if Chinese food, if laksa, or what food come, when you feel your hungry feeling, you're already enough, right? Generally like that, yes, generally Dzogchen, Chakchen has a same meaning. The way to explain is different. Sometimes I can see, I have been reading a lot of books about Mahamudra. Yes, sometimes when they analyze the mind or previous mind, present mind, future mind, when analyzed, finally they cannot find the mind, they call, oh, this is emptiness of the mind. This kind of thing is bit, I think, mistake. Yes, next question, please.
Yeah, Geshe-la, for most of us who follow Lamrim for quite some time, how do we check our progress?
How I know? You must check. Okay, I have been selling laksa, noodle, fried rice. I have been feeding you. How I know you fully feel or not? You need to tell me. Yes, honestly speaking, I'm bit concerned, bit worried. Many of you becoming. Do you remember in the Pawanka books, Lamrim said, you should not become bookkeeper, right? Yes, mean you read lot of book, you keep lot of book. Oh, I finished this book, I started this book. But you don't have any practice. A bit concerned, bit worried. Many of you become bookkeepers. Many of become look like collector, not practitioner. That's why every time I ask you to practice, please practice. I don't want you to be collector. I don't want you to be bookkeeper. I don't want you to be, collecting all the information and just share with others. This is not your duty. So progress, I've been here more than almost 8 years. Compared with 2013, I can see your knowledge is increasing. You have a less confusion. You have a more, I think, understanding of Dharma. Progressing, I cannot see much. I'm so sorry to say that. Please remember, I'm not the Geshe who always speak a sweet thing. Oh, you're so nice, you're so good. Oh, you're good, you're good. No. I'm not the Geshe. I cannot see much progress. Because I always observe who attend my class. Whenever I meet them, I always observe their action, the way of speaking, their short temper, their desire, worry. So I cannot see much progress. All the beginning who are talkative, still talkative. Beginning who are short temper, still short temper. Beginning who are very ignorant, still look like very ignorant. I cannot see much progress in practice. I can see progress in knowledge. This is not, I don't think you only need the knowledge. Yes. Any question?
That's all for now. Yeah, we are very sorry we are not making a lot of progress.
No, sorry, because it's for me, then you can say sorry. It's not for me, right? If you do practice, it's good for you. If you don't practice, it's bad for you. It doesn't affect me. My responsibility is just explain. I told you, teacher just give a teaching, finish. The student need to reflect, need to meditate, need to transform, need to change. For example, if I break somebody's cup, I must say sorry because this cup belongs to him. I break his cup or her cup. So if I cannot see your progress in practice, I just feel, oh, what can I do, right? That's it. So I'm not really disappointment about not doing practice. I can see in progressing in the knowledge. Thank you so much, all of you. Please be more serious about your daily practice. Okay, so at the end, so do the dedication. During our class, definitely we have accumulated in a great amount of merit. This merit we have accumulated today. First, we dedicate for becoming Buddha ourselves to benefit all sentient beings. Dedicate the merit to benefit all sentient beings, particularly you and your families, your friends and relatives, and also include the people who support Tibetan Buddhist Center. Because Tibetan Buddhist Center is not just a center. Through Tibetan Buddhist Center, we organize different teaching from different master. Also, many people can get a lot of benefits. So also dedicate the merit to benefit those people who support Tibetan Buddhist Center. Last, we dedicate the merit for world peace. Peace for all countries, particularly peace and harmonies in Singapore, in your house, with your families and friends. Jamba Bhavya Jida Jamba Dan Gundo Sambo Deyan Deje. Deda Gunji Jizwada Lojen Gewa Deda Danja Rabdungo Chaze Wadan Chujinshi. Jesu Yirang Gujen Sowa Yawa Junze Da Geji Tamje Zobe Janju Chenmo